Very powerful. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah saying the Almighty, giving it to Sayyidina Sulaiman, he says, إِنَّهُ مِن سُلَيْمَانَ وَإِنَّهُ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ أَلَّا تَعْلُوا عَلَيَّ وَأْتُونِي مُسْلِمِينَ. This is from Prophet Sulaiman, and it's Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Come to me, Muslim, O Waqif, and to the people. Only like this. By Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, he brought all the kingdom to Islam. Only by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Very powerful. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is time of Sulaiman. How about that time? Time of Rasulullah Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How much is very powerful. And for this, the one who uses Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allah will support him by divinely power from Allah Almighty. Divinely power from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that if he has a transparent heart, if he has a heart which is ready and reaching to the divinely light of Allah Almighty, by which the heart is existing, then if he says to something, be, it will be by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Because it is the greatest name of Allah Almighty. It is the greatest name of Allah Almighty. And for this, in these days, the much more powerful thing Maulana says is to say for everything Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Even Sayyidina Mahdi alayhi salam, Sahib al-Zaman, is going to appear by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He's going to use Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All awliya using Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah Almighty, in everything, starting it by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Everything. And Rasulullah saying any speech, any advice, any important thing, any work, anything you will do in your life, without saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it will not be completed by Allah Almighty. But everything is said by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah is taking on himself, promising that anything starting by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I will finish it, complete successfully for the one. Even he is not going to be successful finished, I will change it to be successfully finished for the one who starts everything by Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And for this is the advice of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim nowadays, everyone to use Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Who is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He will represent Rasulullah in the divine presence of Allah Almighty, this name, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He is the one whom Allah Almighty called him. After connecting Muhammadun Rasulullah with La ilaha illallah, he addressed him, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. By you I am offering everything, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I create all creation, all universes, everything else than me, I created it for you, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And I create you, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu to me. Allah Almighty created Rasulullah, saying Allah Almighty, I created you for me, especially for me. And everything created other than me, it is for you, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is all for you, and you are for me. And for this Allah Almighty allowed us to be from the nation of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is a very big honor from Allah Almighty, that how much we thank Allah Almighty not enough, that He created us to be from the nation of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah Almighty supporting the nation by big awliya. All other nations of other prophets, there was no awliya, only the prophet and the believers. For Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Almighty supporting his nation by awliyaullah. And for this in all books was not mentioned about awliya, only the Holy Quran. Ala inna awliya Allah la khawfun alayhim wa lahum yahzanun. Allah Almighty gives the light of wilaya only for the nation of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? Because he is the seed of prophet. No more prophet after him. And so, since there is no more prophet, then the light of wilaya will appear. But the others, it used to be prophet. Even in a time of one prophet, there used to be 10, 15 prophets. in the same time. But field of Prophet finished, no more Prophet after him. Allah Almighty sent him كَافَةً لِلنَّاسِ, for all human beings, for all mankind he was sent. And he was the sealed and the last Prophet. And for this Allah supporting his nation by the life of wilayah, awliyaullah. Awliyaullah, everyone has his own rank, his own maqam, his own position. One awliya over the other. There is awliya whom they are in the world of mulk of Allah Almighty, in the kingdom of Allah, of kingdom of Allah Almighty. There is awliya in the malakut of Allah Almighty. There is awliya in the jabarut of Allah Almighty. There is awliya in the azama of the majesty of Allah Almighty. There is awliya over the throne. There is awliya who no one can reach to their maqam, because no one reached to the maqam over the throne to see where Rasulullah is ending over the throne, his head where he is over the throne, was only Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Once Rasulullah Mawlana said, he told Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, look at me Ya Ali. And Sayyidina Ali was looking on Rasulullah from the nipple of Rasulullah till the head. He saw that the neck of Rasulullah reached to over the throne, but he was not able to see the neck and the head were going over the throne. To which heavens over the throne? Then he told him, look from down. And he looked from down, he saw from nipple to the knee of Rasulullah reaching under the throne. Where the legs and the feet of Rasulullah ending, he was not able to see Sayyidina Ali. Then he told him, look at me all together. He looked him, he saw all universes, all heavens, everything else than Allah Almighty, even the thrones that appear, only Muhammad and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is appearing in the divine presence of Allah Almighty. Then Rasulullah, he said, I am the city of knowledge, and Ali is the door of the city. He blessed him by all these knowledge, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But he didn't give the knowledge of the head and the leg and the feet where they go. These heavens he didn't give to Sayyidina Ali. He only gives them to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, because he was the one who saw where the head of Rasulullah went over the throne of Allah Almighty, in which heaven, and where the legs and feet of Rasulullah went under the throne in these heavens, because he was the one whom Allah made him to hear the voice of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq in the last journey, when he was all alone with Rasulullah, ascending to Allah Almighty. He heard the voice of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And so Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was the one who inherited these maqams. And these maqams, Rasulullah say about them, I am the city of secrets, and wisdom and realities, and the Siddiq is the door of it. No more the knowledge. Knowledge is easy, but secrets, wisdom, realities, this is difficult. But Allah Almighty saying, praise be to Allah Almighty, who the reality of everything in my hand, and to me everyone is going to return. This knowledge, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was given from Allah Almighty to him, not as a knowledge, but he read it as something to feel it and to enter into it, not as knowledge, no. And so this is what he gave to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And so this is what Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is blessed by all these means of realities, wisdom and secrets. He was like an ocean, furious ocean. No more anything coming from Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He was not anything, talking anything after him. Every Sahaba, even Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, everyone coming from them, thousands and thousands of hadith of Rasulullah. Everyone giving thousands and thousands of talks of Rasulullah and hadith. Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he gave only 17 hadith. 17. 1/7. This is what he gave. And all the other knowledge was kept in the chest of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, because Allah Almighty ordering Rasulullah whatever I will bless to you, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, especially the seclusion in the night journey, when only Rasulullah and Allah Almighty were, no one else with them, and he was giving to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam revelation from Allah Almighty to Rasulullah. He told them, whatever I am putting in your